I have my morning basket with me today, and I figured it was about time that I shared with you all what is inside. So this particular morning basket is quite science heavy. We're right into physical science for the year, so this one, yes, does have a lot of science inside. So I'm just going to quickly run through with you the books. Our morning basket isn't something that we use every single day. It really just depends on our time. If we've got an afternoon activity that's outside of the house, morning basket does tend to not get looked at because we've generally only got a couple of hours to get through what we need to get through each morning. A couple of books in the morning basket have been in here for a very long time, and they probably will still be in here even come the end of the year and possibly into next year. They're books that we don't necessarily need to read from beginning to end. We just pick them up when we have a bit of interest, or we have some time, or we're looking for something different. Okay, so I'm going to start at the back with the DK Science Year by Year. This is a really lovely resource book, and it takes you through a timeline of science through the years. So we really enjoy this one. Again, this is more of a what are we learning about now in physical science, and we come and we look it up in here and see what we can find for that one. Okay. And then we have the Eyewitness Visual Dictionaries. This is similar. We use this one similarly to the DK Science book. I picked this one up at a second-hand bookstore, as I try to do with the bulk of my books. One, second-hand book buying saves the dollars, and two, there are so many books that are discarded every year. We really need to make more of an effort to be buying second-hand whenever we can. Okay, these two, we haven't got into them yet, but I'm super excited about these. My first book of quantum physics. So my understanding with these is that whilst they appear quite young, the topics and the concepts that they cover are suitable for children of varying ages. So that's my first book of quantum physics. And we've got my first book of relativity. So this one's looking at Einstein's theory of relativity in relation to physics. Then, of course, we have, so these books I've actually had for a while now, and I think I got them from a Lifeline Book Fest. If you're in Australia and you haven't found Lifeline Book Fest, get yourself to one, especially the ones in the capital cities. They are massive. On the last day, possibly the last 2 days, they clear out what's left and they have fill a bag for honestly next to nothing. In my early years of homeschooling, that's pretty much how I feel by bookshelves. Lifeline Book Fest. So this one is The Boy Who Asked Questions. Just a little biography about Thomas Edison. Showing a bit of wear and tear now, but still no reason to not have it on the shelf. In fact, actually my youngest may move on from this, and it might be time to let it go to another family once we've finished with that one. Adventures with Electricity, Benjamin Franklin's story. We've had a couple of these. I have to be honest, they're not my favourite biographies. The couple that we have read been a little bit boring and not overly engaging, but when you grab it for 50 cents, 20 cents at a second-hand book sale, then it certainly can still add to what we're learning about this year. And The Battle for the Radio. So this is the true story of the battle. It was fought during a howling winter storm in the airwaves above the Atlantic Ocean. Okay, so this is one that we have been reading on and off. Usborne's Looking After Your Mental Health. So I really like this little book. It's not a big dive into you know, self-help and those sort of things. It's just looking at all the aspects that encompass our mental health and what some of them mean. So things like, things like, what is mental health? Inside your brain, how do you feel? Who are you? On the internet, difficult times, mental health problems, depression and anxiety. The topics that are covered are wide and varied. This book just opens up really nice little conversations for us to have. And so again, this is just grabbed out whenever we feel like looking at something a little bit different. Archimedes and the Door of Science. I like this one. My eldest did this one, and it's a great historical look at what he brought into the world. And dead famous Albert Einstein. So this is more of a horrible histories type graphic novel about Einstein. I'm not actually sure whether we will get to this particular book, but it's in there if we find some time or one of the kids decides that they may want to pick this one up. And lastly, we have What If? What would happen if absolutely everyone jumped at the same time? How long could a nuclear submarine last in space? What if my DNA vanished? What are the odds of meeting my soulmate? So what if one man decided to answer all the unanswerable questions using science? My dear friend has a copy of this, and I've picked it up so many times when I'm at her house and flick through to read some of the bits and pieces out of it. So I knew that I had to get a copy. So it just asks a random question, and he aims to answer that question using science. Really, really fascinating and a really interesting book, and we have had some wonderful conversations through reading this. But this is definitely one I think it'll probably be in our morning basket for, you know, possibly another 2 years, because we rarely get to it. It's just when we have a bit of extra time that we sit and delve into what if. That is my current morning basket. So it's simple, easy, related to at least something that we're studying throughout the year, although it doesn't always. Sometimes the books in here are completely irrelevant to our current studies. Just depends on how I feel and what books I find or what books I pull from the bookshelf. Anyway, yeah, that's our morning basket. So I will say goodbye for now, and I'll see you all another time. Thanks everyone. Bye for now.